Hello there, my name is Mark Barnabas, your data protection pal, and today we discuss a very important topic, and that is it possible that there can be a standardization for data privacy? Now, since the implementation of GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulations of the EU, in May 2018, many other countries have also come forth to implement and pass their own local laws on data protection or privacy. We have like CCPA for California, we have LGPD for Brazil, we have the PDPA for several Southeast Asian countries that include Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia. And of course, we have India and China also jumping in the bandwagon with the Indian government mentioning about the personal data protection bill, and China with mention of the personal information protection law. So with all these laws in place, we all know that everyone has a great emphasis on data protection. But what about standardization, where I mean companies that would get an auditor to come in to check this whole list of standards, where they will check, and say, okay, you have met this set of standards and you have got a mark of excellence, just like ISO, HACCP, HIPAA, and all that, you see. So is there a standardization for data privacy that can be used for nations? And there are two countries that are having such a mark, and it's India and Singapore. And this article was just recently published by an author from an Indian law firm, and it mentions about it also introduces about BIS, the Bureau of Indian Standards, having this new standard for the purpose of establishing a framework for implementation of data privacy management, the IS 17428 with two parts. And this could well be a standard that the Indian companies need to follow. A standard where there are, again, guidelines and criteria. And I think it's also repeated, or rather, it's also found in the Data Protection Trustmark of Singapore, with the Singapore government, through the Infocom Media Development Authority, awards companies with a trustmark, saying that the company has got good standards on data privacy. Now, I would like to challenge this because, well, data privacy is not just simply something that an organization can do by just ticking checkboxes. I guess there are a lot of aspects to data privacy because there's a lot of internal practices and even the ethos of the company and how the company collects, use, and disclose personal data. While standards are definitely good and excellent because it gives a basic benchmark, but I personally feel that standards can sometimes be abused or, well, subject to corruption in many countries where, well, money does talk. Give you the money and you will help me check the boxes. And then this company with this kind of a trust mark or a mark of excellence goes around preaching and saying that, look, we are good, and then they carry on their activities. I believe companies should do data privacy with responsibility, where people will know, people like consumers like you and I will really know that the company is doing good. I mean, for a good example now, I would mention Apple, because Apple has been preaching about privacy for many years, not just only recently where they have protection over Mail, Siri, and all other internal apps. But I mean, many years ago in the US, we remember Apple protecting the privacy of the consumers or their people who are among the Apple Store thingy, where they did not reveal the data to even the federal government. They really protected data of their customers. So I feel that privacy standards are good, and countries should definitely have guidelines to apply, for companies to apply, so that they can start their privacy practices or guide or programs. But having said that, because the way companies are run are so different, I mean, a company in let's say in travel, I was in travel. having been in travel business where it's so varied, two travel agencies could have very, very different operations. One could be a B2B and one could be B2C. So even in two companies with that's in the same business, but the way they handle data is very different. So standards may not work, but really guidelines from regulators must be there. Guidelines from regulators should be there to educate the public. And most of all, I believe that all individuals and consumers must be educated on how to challenge organizations who abuse or rather collect, use, and disclose data indiscriminately or unethically. So that's what I feel, and I look forward to more guidelines from authorities and even NGOs or independent organizations, because that's the only way that we could, have a whole universe, a whole world of, good practices where the young, the professionals, and the MNCs and the big companies respect the data of individuals and use the data ethically. So my name is Mark Barnabas. I'm a privacy advisor and educator, and I also created the first game to educate data protection and cyber hygiene. And my wish is that we have a world without people who use data wrongly, people who are responsible, people who respect data and privacy. So my name is Mark Barnabas, your data protection pal. See you again real soon, and take care and be good.